evening and welcome. Today we are focusing on one of the hottest issues in Nigeria this week, and that is the showdown between the Dangote Refinery and the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, known to many as PENGASSAN. On the one hand, we've got a $20 billion refinery hailed as a national asset and also as an economic game changer. On the other, we've got one of the country's most powerful oil unions accusing the refinery of violating labor laws, hence leading a nationwide strike. What does this mean for Nigerians? Could this crisis plunge us back into the dark days of fuel queues, black market exploitation, and national embarrassment? Or is it just another chapter in the long drama of Nigeria's oil sector? First of all, let's get some perspective and context here. The Dangote Refinery is more than just a private venture. It is a national asset. So protecting it is in our collective interest because its success will benefit every Nigerian like you and me. At the same time, the management of the aforementioned must, in capital letters, respect our laws and labor standards if it is to truly stand as a model for progress. For stakeholders, here is the message Nigerians are watching. To government, you should take a stand and call the warring factions to order. To PENGASSAN, pursue your course but follow due process. And to Dangote, let me tell you this, leadership comes with responsibility. So set the standard in fairness, transparency, and accountability, and you will have all our support. My name is Umar Isa Dandugo, and this is the Pop Show. Joining me to analyze this and more is Dr. Ahmed Sajoh, a public affairs analyst, former Adamawa State government spokesperson, and someone who understands what I would say the intersection and intricacies, of course, of governance, labor, and national interest. Thank you so very much indeed for coming. I hope I have done justice to the introduction.
Hopefully.
Well, I have seen, like from this side of my eye, your reaction when I was taking the last paragraph.
You see, the truth about it is that every time we talk, it shouldn't be about us. It should be about what we're going to talk about, what we're going to tell people.
Okay.
I have no value in myself if I do not connect with the public in a manner that adds value to what we're discussing. So I appreciate all you said, but I'm more appreciative of the fact that the people who are going to watch this show, the people who are going to listen to what we're discussing, should be able to actually understand what we're talking about. And let me introduce. Let me do my own introduction. You've done your own.
Okay.
First, I want to say very emphatically that what we are seeing is an ominous sign that may breed no good. It's an ill wind that can blow no good to any one of us that are involved unless we are cautious about what is happening.
Will you say what we are seeing? Yes, what you are saying with regards to this spat between Dangote Oil Refinery and the Refinery?
I want to start by saying, first and foremost, anybody who has worked in the oil sector in Nigeria, particularly in the management of the 4 government refineries that are not producing fuel for us, should be ashamed of himself or herself if it will take like 30 years, conducting turnaround maintenance and paying a legion of staff, most of whom are members of PENGASSAN. And then Dangote will come in less than 10 years, start a new refinery from the scratch and complete it and begin to send fuel to the public in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. I think we should begin to think very deeply.
So this is a national embarrassment you are talking about. That the country has taken a lot of years without
wasting a lot of resources,
despite the fact that there are 4 refineries in different strategic locations of the country
in Nigeria,
without operating, functioning very well.
But every year, there is a budget for the salaries and emoluments of the workers, out of which PENGASSAN removes their check-off dues as a labor union.
Okay.
There is money voted and sometimes released for turnaround maintenance. You're maintaining an infrastructure that does not provide any service. So that is a national embarrassment.
I understand, and I can see from your emotion how deeply serious this is.
But
in whose interest?
But I am looking at this whole crisis as a proxy war.
Proxy war.
Yes.
When we say proxy war, from an international relations context, is when a country is fighting another country, not physically in both the warring parties' countries, but in another country.
I think you're using country. I'm using interest. When a particular interest wants to take up a fight with another, but that they do not have the courage to come out, sometimes mostly because of credibility challenges, they now employ another interest to fight a proxy war on their behalf.
So who is fighting in this context?
I am looking at all of these things as a proxy war.
So who is fighting who in this context?
I think, I may be wrong, but I think and I believe very sincerely that there is an oil cabal in this country. And that oil cabal had a hand in the non-functioning of our 4 refineries. They've had a hand in the massive importation of refined petroleum products in this country. They've had a hand in the massive fraud associated with subsidy scam in this country. And this oil cabal had lost out when the situation changed by the removal of fuel subsidy and now the reduction of importation of petroleum products. So they have lost greatly.
Okay, and they have lost because of the introduction of Dangote Refinery?
Dangote Refinery is the game changer in respect of reduction in importation. Government is the one that is responsible for the removal of, or at least ending the fuel subsidy scam.
Okay.
So I can see the PENGASSAN, and now Nigerian Labour Congress has also joined the fray. I can see this as a proxy war. That's one.
Okay.
2, if this struggle is between Dangote and Labour, first, I expect that if Dangote Refinery or Dangote as a business person is defying some of our labor laws in this country, the appropriate body that determines whether laws are infringed upon or not is a court of law.
Okay.
It's a court of law. Has anybody gone to court to put up a case
against
the infringement on our laws?
Okay. So has anybody done that?
Nobody has done that.
Okay.
Now, that's number 1. Number 2, what is the connect between Dangote Refinery and electricity supply to Nigerians?
Are you saying there is no connection whatsoever?
What is the connect? I want to know the connect.
Okay.
So why are you fighting Dangote, and then you now stop gas from flowing into electricity generating companies? As I'm talking to you now, our electricity generation as a country has already gone down from 4,300 megawatts to 3,200 megawatts. Right now, as we're talking.
Some would say because possibly the gas is supplied from Dangote Refinery.
No.
Is it not?
Gas is not supplied from Dangote Refinery.
So,
gas, before Dangote Refinery, we still have the Gencos. The Gencos were never relied on Dangote Refinery.
Okay.
You know, so the gas supply chain is totally different. What these people are trying to do is to hold the nation by the jugular.
Okay. Meaning
when you hold the nation by the jugular, when you make it difficult for the entire country to breathe, then you would have been making a point.
Okay.
And probably that's what they're doing. And they're hinging everything they're doing under Section 40 of the Nigerian Constitution. Section 40 says every Nigerian is free to associate with any other Nigerian, either as members of a political party or a union.
Okay.
This is what the
section says.
The section says. Yes, that section is there. But don't forget that a business venture also has its own rules. And one of the economic objectives of the country in that same constitution in part 2 is to ensure that we have an economic system where no citizen suffers adversely as a result of trade practices by the private sector. So if the trade practice of the labor unions will result in you suffering, even if they are defending a section of the Constitution, they are also violating a section of the Constitution.
Okay. And there is a contradiction here.
There's a contradiction here. The overall concern should be the average Nigeria.
Okay.
Dangote Refinery has come to be a game changer, whether we like it or not. And it has proven to us that it is possible to establish a refinery. It is possible to run a refinery. It is possible for Nigeria to rely on petroleum products without necessarily importing. And because of the success of the Dangote Refinery, we are now seeing BUA is also trying to set up its own refinery. We have seen 1 or 2 or 3 people have also set up some modular refineries. And we're beginning to see a situation where within the next 4 or 5 years, the issue of importation of petroleum products will completely go away.
And that competition is always good for the economy and for the common man.
But unfortunately, there are people in this country, and we say it without any fear of contradiction. There are people in this country who have as much money as Dangote, even if they would not like to declare that money because the source will be questioned. We have people who have set up refineries outside Nigeria.
Outside Nigeria?
Nigeria, definitely.
Refining whose oil?
Refining whatever.
And selling to who?
Sometimes they even sell back to us. Now look at it this way. I am not saying, I don't hold brief for Dangote on his refinery, but I am saying we want the facts to be laid on table. And the best place to lay the facts on table is actually the court of law. The workers who claim they have been denied membership of union can go under Section 40 of the Constitution and report and seek for their rights to form unions or to belong to unions. But then the unions must also operate like they do in the private sector. Look, we have the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities. You've never heard of them in private universities. We have Road Transport Workers Union. You've never heard of them going to Ekasson's, going to a Kennedy Lichuku, or going to
those privately owned.
You have Nigerian Union of Teachers. Have you heard of Nigerian Union of Teachers in private schools?
No.
Exactly.
So
the private sector.
So you're saying
can decide.
You're saying that they have no business whatsoever.
No.
In Dangote Refinery, because it's a private.
Dangote Refinery is a private thing. They can decide within the confines of the Nigerian laws, how their workers can associate.
If they don't want their staff to join organizations, associations like PENGASSAN,
that are destructive in nature. If they insist that their own staff can unionize under a different umbrella, what the hell? Why not?
Okay, what if they don't want...
What the Constitution says in Section 40
is it necessary for them to join?
Association.
Okay, association.
With any other person.
Okay, is that association necessary, mandatory? Or they can just work without joining any association?
They can.
Okay.
They can.
And it's not an infringement.
You are free to. Does not mean that you must.
Okay. But let's get some perspective on context here. But the backstory of the whole thing, the whole drama that has happened. Briefly, for 2 minutes, to establish it for our viewers who, let's assume they don't know anything about it. What has happened and that has led, or that have led us to this moment?
Well, the thing is very opaque. Okay. Let's be honest.
Opaque, not clear.
Not very clear.
Okay.
Because up till this moment that we're talking, PENGASSAN insists that Dangote workers must join their union.
Which means they are not part of the union.
They must join their union.
Okay.
Why do they want them to join in their union? We don't know.
Okay.
What happened in Dangote Refinery that they're insisting? What are the conditions of service of Dangote Refinery? How does those conditions of service infringe on the labor laws, the Constitution of Nigeria and the labor laws?
No.
They've not put those ones on table. Now, in the case of Dangote, Dangote had not also come out to tell us that, look, we have our management practice allows our staff to associate, but within the confines of certain trade practices. Because the private sector is also protected in its trade practice.
Okay.
There is no constitution in this world that can impose on you to run your system without making profit.
Okay.
There would have been no private sector.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Because the goal of private sector is to make profit. And anything that jeopardizes the profit must be called to question.
And now you're saying in this context, in this case, Dangote is also mute, silent?
Well, we have not seen a document saying this is the condition under which we employ our people.
And should we see it? Should he or should the company Refinery make it visible?
They should make it public. That look, everybody that takes up a job in our company signs into this condition. And if you willingly sign into a condition that I will take up a job in PAP, and that job says I cannot join a labor union for these particular reasons, but that I am free to accept or reject the job.
Okay.
If you sign, you accept the job on that condition, then you are the one that signed away your Section 40.
Okay.
You've not been forced.
You are in wholeheartedly, and can I use the word trapped? And you can, and so all the restrictions are applied to you.
If I am to open a refinery like Dangote, one of the things I will study is what trade practices killed the 4 national refineries.
Okay.
What trade practices made it impossible for the 4 national refineries to come back on stream?
Okay.
What trade practices, laid them comatose and made them a waste, a drain on national resources? I want to make profit. If I identify those trade practices, I will say no to them.
Okay.
And I will say no to them, and I'll be honest about it.
Okay, I understand. Okay, this is a very serious thing. For starters, I think we've already established the context, but then the important thing that we need to look at is that the 4 refineries have stopped, have failed due to one reason or the other. Some are associating those reasons to government's inability, lack of maintenance and management, and corruption, and so on and so forth. Then Dangote suddenly stepped in and has served as a savior, and the whole thing has served as a panacea, if I could put it this way. Now, how significant is it? Talk to us about the significance of private refineries, in this case Dangote, in the whole of this thing that we're talking about.
I'm looking at it beyond Dangote, okay, and I'm looking at it even beyond refineries.
Okay.
Look, today, Nigeria is a net importer of practically everything that we need, which is not good for our country. We're in a volatile world. We're in a world that is in conflict almost perpetually.
Unstable.
Across the globe. Now, what happens if you are not self-reliant? We've had our own experience. During COVID-19, there was a lockdown, the whole world. What had happened was that a lot of countries who could not provide some of their basic needs had a lot more difficulties coping with situations like that. So the goal of the Nigerian state is self-reliance. Self-reliance in practically all of our needs. We have the crude. If we have if we can get the refined products as a nation, even if there's a conflict around the world that disrupts supply, we will not suffer adversely. But if it happens that there's a disruption in supply worldwide, and that there is a conflict, like what happened recently when the Houthis were bombing ships that were carrying goods to Israel, something like that.
Ties with the Israelis.
Exactly. Now, if assuming
on the Red Sea,
assuming there is something similar, and that there is a blockade of the Nigerian shores, and nothing comes into this country, how are we going to respond to it? How are we going to survive such a situation? So, looking inward and creating, a condition for us to be self-reliant in whatever area of our existence should be our major goal. And whoever advances that goal, advances a goal that serves the greater interests of our country.
Okay.
So whoever interrupts that goal is actually sabotaging the entire country.
Okay, speaking of sabotage, we're going to talk a lot about whether or not the strike that PENGASSAN is calling, the whole thing is a sabotage to Dangote and to oil.
I'm just telling you, it's a proxy battle.
Okay.
It's very clear.
Okay.
You know when Tinubu came and said subsidy is gone, very painful decision. Very painful decision. Politically, it was seen as incorrect, but economically, it's a saving grace, because
and you're in support of
Nigeria was bleeding heavily from payment of subsidy to fraudulent entities, and here is where some of us fault unions like PENGASSAN. We have just seen there's a report.
Okay.
I'm still wondering why some of these reports are not made public for people to know. Somebody will import a shipload of refined product to Nigeria. He will come to the Lagos port and dock the ship. Get down from the ship, collect the papers, evidence of importation of fuel, and tell you how many liters he has imported in that ship. PENGASSAN members who are working in the oil sector will process these documents, certify them, and calculate the subsidy the person is supposed to receive, and give him back his papers. Send the claims to whoever pays the subsidy. This guy will go back to the ship. He will not offload the fuel.
So,
the ship will move to Calabar.
okay.
It will dock in Calabar.
Mm-hmm.
You bring the papers again.
Mm-hmm.
Process it as if it's the first port of entry was Calabar.
Okay.
The same PENGASSAN people will fill the necessary documentation.
What an irony.
And give the guy another successful claim for subsidy. And then he will take that ship. He will not offload in Calabar.
Mm-hmm.
He will come to Port Harcourt.
Again?
Go through the same process in Port Harcourt.
For the third time?
Get a claim for the third time. Then return back to Lagos.
Mm-hmm.
Process the same papers the fourth time.
Oh my God.
Then he will offload.
Oh.
So if you noticed, anytime you were speaking about fuel in Nigeria, you will be told something like our daily consumption is 240 million liters or something like that a day. Since the subsidy was removed, it has gone to 60. Automatically, you know we were lying. So we were paying subsidy for four times our actual consumption.
Wow.
And who were supposed to be the gatekeepers to protect us from this subsidy fraud? Fraud as to the quantity of imported products, fraud as to the honesty with the fuel that was shipped into Nigeria. Who were they supposed to do? They were the same senior staff of oil workers,
just
PENGASSAN, who are members of PENGASSAN.
And in your explanation, they were part of the corruption cycle.
They're still part of it.
They're still
in the oil sector. You cannot do.
So when they claim
NNPC for very many years until this Tinubu's regime, NNPC was not remitting anything to the federal government.
So you're saying when they claim that Dangote is violating laws and conventions and whatever, they're lying?
No, they're just talking about their own interest or the interest of the people they are fighting a proxy war for. Then another fraud. We used to have filling stations littered all over the country. If you come from areas that have borders with our neighbors, you will find one small town or village has about 5, 6, 7 filling stations. But you will never find discharge on those filling stations. Even in Abuja here, there are filling stations that have existed for the past 10, 20 years without discharging fuel. But they exist.
Any reason behind that?
They use the filling stations to get allocation.
Okay. But they are not operational?
They are not operational.
Okay.
They buy subsidized fuel using the fact that they own these filling stations. And then when they buy this subsidized fuel, they smuggle this subsidized fuel across our borders and make 10 times the profit. If there is too much pressure for them from those that protect our borders, what do they do?
What do they do?
They simply sell the fuel to black marketeers in the night.
Okay.
You don't see the fuel in the daytime, but you go to their filling stations in the night, you see them selling it to Yambumburutu.
So
now
they are part of the problem.
Now they are the major beneficiaries of the subsidy scam, the opaque nature of oil importation of refined petroleum products, and all of that.
But what you have not mentioned is whether or not they are part of the cabal. Are they?
A cabal is a collection of people with a particular interest.
I said, are they part of the cabal?
They are the cabal.
They are the cabal.
They are the cabal.
So when you talk about the oil cabal,
they are the cabal.
Okay, it's PENGASSAN.
The people that are within the petroleum value chain. The major beneficiaries.
And PENGASSAN is part of them, or PENGASSAN is the cabal?
No. PENGASSAN is part of the value chain.
Okay. And so PENGASSAN is part of the cabal.
PENGASSAN is part of the value chain.
You have not mentioned it. Is PENGASSAN part of the cabal?
The unions in the oil sector are part of the value chain. And everybody on that value chain, depending on the level of his beneficiary status, is part of the oil cabal that had held Nigeria by the jugular, that had refused to allow our refineries work, that had refused to allow Nigeria to have self-reliance in petroleum products, that had perpetuated our import dependence.
We're going on a short break, but yes or no, should we do away with PENGASSAN? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
Look,
they should be part of the equation.
but let me tell you, it's not a yes or no question.
Okay.
It's like the proverbial Hausa proverb.
Okay, so they're still part of us. Okay, we're going on a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues. This is the PAP Show, and we're talking with Dr. Ahmed Sajoh, former spokesperson of Adamawa State Government, and who knows a lot about the oil industry and labor.
I really don't know much about it. I mean, a lot about the oil industry.
Okay, but you've been talking about some things that we might have considered as classified.
They're not
if
classified.
we're talking about security things, we would have said these are some classified.
They are open. They are open.
Okay.
They are open. Everybody knows.
When we come back, more interesting things will be discussed. Don't go anywhere.
Take a seat on the Political Advantage platform for real conversations about Nigeria by Nigerians. Follow our live stream across these channels and learn how it all affects you. Every Sunday, you have a chance to stay ahead by staying engaged and informed. Tune in to the Political Advantage platform to share in real conversations that matter to you.
Welcome back. This is the PAP Show with me, Umar Isa Dandago, and tonight my guest is Dr. Ahmed Sajoh, and we are talking a lot about the rift, the misunderstanding, and well, some would say clash of interest between Dangote Refinery and PENGASSAN. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. I still want you to. It's not a rift. Well, it's a proxy war. I'm telling you, and it's affecting areas that we're not supposed to.
Proxy war. Proxy war.
Yeah, it's a proxy war.
Okay, that's why you're here. You're here to ventilate your opinion.
The unions are fighting a proxy war.
But you have not told us whose interest the union is protecting or is projecting.
I'm telling you now, the oil sector cabal.
Okay.
Those that benefited immensely in the past. No.
Cannot be mentioned.
The truth is that everybody knows. You know the owner of the filling station in your village that has not discharged fuel for the past 20 years. You know him.
But the issue is that you are trying to propagate, to dispel a conspiracy theory that cabal exists. In America, Trump has been, ranting about issues of deep state, which some people would regard as
their own
cabal in the context of Nigeria. But no names have been mentioned.
No.
So which means it's a conspiracy theory. It could be true and it could not be true.
It's not a conspiracy theory. It's something that happens, that some people do, that affects you. If you think it does not exist, then I think you're the one that is living, in fantasy.
Okay.
It affects you. When we used to have oil queues, when we used to have black market, when we used to have oil racketeering, when they used to arrest a whole tanker crossing over to Niger, Cameroon, or Chad. These are not hidden things.
Okay.
These are open things. Everybody knows. And you think it's not behind, there are no people behind those occurrences?
Could those people be Nigerians or non-Nigerians? Because in whose interest would it be for Nigeria and Nigerians to suffer, to be suffocating in this kind of
look, we are all in it.
Okay.
And I tell you, when your value system is calibrated to respect only a person that has money, people can go looking for money using every means, including the means that ensures you suffer. It's our value system.
So
It's our value system.
So is the institution broken?
It's our value system.
Okay. When you say our value system, what are you talking about? Our core family value system?
No, our value system as a nation.
Okay.
We've lost all. Everything that used to make you respected in this country has been abandoned. There's only one point of respect that you have. You either have money or you have power. Outside these two, your knowledge, your capacity, your integrity, all
your tarbiyah,
whatever socialization or upbringing you had no value any longer. The only thing that had value is money and its twin brother, power. And
you get power with
people
money.
People of power use their power to get money. People of money use their money to get power.
Okay. This question says, PENGASSAN says Dangote violated or has violated labor laws and carried out mass sackings. Dangote says it's just a small reorganization to stop sabotage. Where do Nigerians draw the line between genuine labor rights concerns and union overreach that could sabotage a refinery critical to our survival?
But let's put it this way.
Okay.
Both of them have not put to the public space which laws were violated and how they were violated. Okay. The person who is reorganizing is not putting it on table for you to say, this is the reason I'm organizing.
So but
what I can tell you is that if I were Dangote, it's my money. It's not public money. Okay. You can go sabotage the federal government-owned refinery and still be receiving your salary when the refinery is not working. It's not possible for you to do that in a private company because it is from the sale of product and the profit made that your salary comes. It's not rocket science. It's simple. It's clear. In government refineries, for over 30 years now, they are receiving salaries for not producing.
Okay.
But in a private sector,
you sound like you're protecting Dangote's interests.
No. I'm protecting private sector interests. If we really want, I don't belong to private sector, but I know that everything has its own rules. Okay. The rule of the private sector is that you must produce and sell and make profit before you can run your system.
You're talking about the ideal system, but is Dangote following the ideal system in this context? That's the question.
What is the ideal system?
That's what you have said.
Exactly.
But is he following the ideal system?
What is apparent? Yes.
Okay.
What is not apparent is what the unions should take to the courts, and then the courts becomes the stage at which what is hidden will be made open.
But
lawyers will tell you that remove the corporate veil. The corporate secrets.
Yes.
And remove the corporate veil. Let them go to court. The court can remove the corporate veil for us to see what is happening.
Including what Dangote has been hiding?
Exactly.
Okay. With regards to the contract?
That is at the core of it. It's an entity. It's a corporate person. It is subject to legal scrutiny.
Okay.
Let them scrutinize what they're doing legally. Let us see it in the open.
But for him to stay away from blame or whatever, why can't he just make this public?
Make what public?
The doctrine that you...
It has not been demanded.
Okay.
I mean, look, would you, for example, as you are now, begin to tell me about your family life just because we're sitting on a show here?
Okay.
I mean, it's not demanded. It is when it is demanded, and that's what we are saying. Has the union, have the workers that have been employed and sacked, had any one of them gone to court
Okay.
To demand that, look, Dangote is being unfair to me as his worker. These are the conditions that I'm supposed to have enjoyed that I'm not enjoying. Or these are the trade practices that are adverse to me.
Is the organization here, is PENGASSAN not voicing the concern of the sacked staff?
Are they members of PENGASSAN?
The question is, are they not?
Are they members of PENGASSAN? Because you don't become a member of union just because the union says you are my member. It's like somebody comes here. So you're working here now. Has the Radio, Television and Theatre Workers Union come here to claim that you are their member? Okay. Have they?
Oh, okay. So who should make it clear that who belongs to who?
The people that we're talking about should demand that they want to be members of so and so union.
And up to now they have not?
We're talking about the public space.
Oh, yeah.
If they have written to PENGASSAN and want to join you and they don't go to say you cannot join them, then let them put it on table.
So now that PENGASSAN's argument is not valid?
As it is, like I said, they are not fighting Dangote over union. They are fighting a proxy war. And let us get something very clear and straight.
Okay.
Why is PENGASSAN and Nupeng, for example, saying Dangote, the first crisis was that Dangote cannot distribute his product.
So what is he supposed to do? Hide it? I mean, like...
No. That is the union that should distribute.
Okay.
You can imagine if I discover that the method through which you distribute the product is inefficient, I cannot set up an efficient system that will help my business grow. Does it really make sense? Now, the Nigerian brewery, none of their customers go to their factory to collect products. They distribute their products. Coca Cola, nobody goes to Coca Cola to distribute products. Okay. They carry their products to their customers. Nobody has questioned them. Why are we questioning? Why is it that when it comes to fuel, you have to go through certain individuals? So and now they are telling you that the petroleum marketers are insisting that they should be the... Of course, it's an open market.
This is capitalism.
You have your tanker. You can go and collect the product. I have my tanker. Those that subscribe to me, I can take the products to them.
Okay. So in your explanation, you are confirming the assertion, the notion, the thought, the thinking, the perception that they are not this PENGASSAN people, organization, association, whatever you call it. They are not protecting the interest of the common man. They are serving.
They have never protected the interest of the common man. Never.
I know you might be in your 60s, in the whole of your life.
They've never protected the interest of the... Look, the labor unions will shout. They will shout.
They make noise?
They will claim they want to protect the interest of the common person. But let me tell you, where is the interest of the common person when they negotiate for rebates within the system? Have you ever heard, as part of the demands of labor, and tell me, I'm not talking about my years, I'm talking about you. Have you ever seen, as part of the demand of labor, that the woman selling tomatoes and pepper in your area is being overtaxed by the local government, the state government, and have you ever seen that demand?
Okay.
Have you ever seen a demand by labor that the driver who carries goods from Kano to Lagos has to stop in about 15-20 locations with different security agencies collecting money from him? Have you ever seen that in their demand?
Wow. So is it that they don't know about this?
They know. Their interest is not the common person. Because these are the things that affect the common person directly.
So the members are elites,
if I
not
carry,
ordinary people.
If I carry a basket of albasa, onions, from Kano, and I'm taking it to Lagos, that basket of albasa would have cost me 10,000 naira at the worst. But by the time the driver gives 1,000, 500, 1,000 to different roadblocks on the way, including security agencies, local government tax people, state tax people, and ordinary thugs on the road, the quantum of what they would have spent would have risen that albasa from 10,000 to 15,000.
And this is what unions
are supposed to protect the ordinary people, because this is where the ordinary people suffers oppression from a system that does not protect them. Are you
saying that there is a disconnect between the organizations, the unions, and the ordinary people?
No. The labor oligarchs are part of the elites that are oppressing the people.
You call them oligarchs?
Yes. The labor oligarchs in this country are part of the elites that are oppressing ordinary people in this country. And the labor oligarchs are some of the most untransparent people we have in this country. Because every worker who subscribes to a labor union pays a certain amount of money as check-up dues from his or her salary.
Okay.
And that check-up dues, there has never been a day when the labor unions give an account of how much they have received, what they have used the money for.
So are you now are you inciting the public
not to
join?
I am not.
Since the operation activities as shady.
I am saying that for an organization to be pro-people, to defend the interests of the people, the first integrity text it must, pass is that it must be transparent and credible. It must have integrity. And that secondly, for it must, within the context of the economic situation in the country, it must look at prices beyond its own members, but with the larger economic sector.
Okay.
Because, look, when the labor union was very effective, when we had labor leaders with a lot of integrity.
When? 70s, 80s?
Yes. When we had labor leaders with a lot of integrity, labor leaders who had no property, labor leaders who lived for the workers, who lived with the workers, who do not these labor leaders that we have that live in mansions that can rival government officials that they are telling you they are fighting, or labor leaders who travel with convoys that intimidate ordinary people, just like political leaders intimidate ordinary people, or labor leaders who even have bouncers and security men accompanying them. No. The first integrity test is transparency and openness.
And do you think we are anywhere near
we're not
back to the 70s?
We're not.
So
like I said,
pessimistic.
No, I'm not being pessimistic, but I'm just telling you.
Some would say you are. But how would we solve the problems?
Solve the problems?
Yeah, because that's what the whole conversation
should be. What does it take to ease the life of an ordinary person who is suffering in this country?
And what does it take? You should give the answer. Because you are the expert here.
What it takes is, when we are doing our elite fights, we must be cognizant of what those fights can lead to. If, for example, we go on this kind of proxy war we are going on, and in the process we disrupt electricity, we disrupt fuel supply, we disrupt, are we improving the lives of our people or we're impoverishing them?
Okay, we're moving towards the end of the program. Let me ask you this question. We've seen how strikes have been weaponized in Nigeria's history. Do you think this strike that PENGASSAN is calling for is about protecting jobs or about power and politics?
Strike in the hands of a labor leader is a last weapon. Is a last weapon.
What about protests? Isn't protest the last?
No.
Okay.
Strike in the hands of a labor leader
Okay.
is the last weapon. Is the most potent weapon. But there are other weapons.
Okay.
And like I told you, one of the things, because we are operating within law and legality, one of the areas we could go and achieve what we want to achieve is the court of law. I was a labor leader, and I had cause to take a military government to court.
Wow. You had the guts, you had the balls.
No. It has nothing to do with guts, my friend.
Okay.
It's doing the right thing.
Okay.
I took the government to court. The governor, a military governor, threatened to shoot me. And I told him, I said, well, you can shoot me, but one day you would also die.
When was it?
Well, a long time ago, when it was Gongola State, not even Adamawa. And the man, I told him that you kill me now, but one day you will die. Incidentally, he died before me.
Oh, God.
But what am I trying to say?
Maybe military guys are more disciplined than the politicians that we have now.
What I'm trying to tell you is that it's because we went to court that the condition for withdrawing our case in court was the fulfillment of our demand.
And were they met?
They were met. Our demands were met. We withdrew our case in court. We did not go on strike. The strike is the last weapon.
It's the
final
last resort.
Final. But today, the labor leadership in this country has made strike the first weapon.
Okay. So there are channels, there are processes, there are steps that should be taken.
There are dialogues first.
Before even going to court.
You
sit down on the table and you resolve.
Exactly. You jojo. And there are arbitrators.
Meaning?
There is an arbitration process within the labor laws that if you and your employer does not agree, you can approach the Ministry of Labor and they will appoint an arbitrator who sits between the two of you.
Like sort of a negotiator?
An arbitrator. It's a legal thing.
Okay.
It's a legal thing.
Okay.
As a former public office holder, we had a problem with the government that succeeded us based on some of our entitlement as a people. We went to the National Industrial Court. The National Industrial Court, forced arbitration between us. Okay. There was an arbitration process. It was signed by our lawyers and signed by the lawyers of the government. At the end of the day, we got our entitlement and the government continued.
So the case was
resolved.
So the point is that
there are
unions, labor unions should not just
don't strike every time. No.
Okay.
The first thing you do is begin a negotiation process. If that negotiations break down, you go for the arbitration. If the arbitration breaks down, you go for a legal solution.
You go to court.
If you believe that there is a violation of legal provisions, you go to court. If that one fails, then you use your most potent weapon. But you start from your most potent weapon. It sounds suspicious.
Okay.
For those of us that understand the labor system, it sounds suspicious. And that's why I said most probably these people are fighting a proxy war.
So let's talk about labor practices and monopoly, especially from the side of Dangote. Dangote himself, critics accuse him of running monopolies in cement, sugar, and now oil. Is there a risk that one man's refinery becomes another chokehold on Nigeria's economy? And no one has a monopoly of business, maybe some would say, but that's one of the problems of capitalism.
Well, definitely, people have accused Dangote of being a monopolist. But you see, you have a monopoly where a player is favored to the exclusion of other players.
And
do we have evidence that in all of these things that Dangote is accused of being a monopolist, have other people been excluded from going into the business? Cement, Boa is there.
Okay.
Sugar, Boa is there. Spaghetti, Boa is there. Golden Penny is there.
But apart from Boa, any other people?
Refinery, Boa is there.
Okay.
Huh?
Has not
He's building.
Okay.
Some people have also built modular refineries.
Okay.
Well, what I'm saying is that first, there is no law or practice or administrative practice by government that excludes other people from going into this business. Second, there are people in this country, if we must tell ourselves the truth, who have stolen more money than the Dangote money you're talking about. What are they doing with it? Some are buying islands outside Nigeria.
Island?
Of course, definitely.
The whole island?
Yes.
On top of water?
Yes. Some are buying species, some are in fact, the President of the United States understands our own kind of lifestyle, and he now says that there's a visa of $200,000 for people who may want. Target is Nigerians. We steal money. We go and buy houses. Very recently, there was a struggle for a British property that was supposedly owned by a Nigerian who is now late. We can get. There are a lot of our resources that are locked up outside by people who took them out and cannot even recover them back now. We've lost so much resources on that. There are businessmen who have money who could do what Dangote is doing, but they have refused to do it because they cannot come out and tell us that they have as much money as Dangote, because we will ask how they made their money. You know, all these kind of things. Look, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Dangote may be a monopolist. I agree. But Dangote did not become a monopolist because government or systems favored him to the exclusion of others.
Has he not been favored?
Yes, but not to the exclusion of others.
Okay.
We don't have...
Still, the market is open for others to come in?
It's open. Tell me in what area Dangote is operating that they have stopped other people from operating in that area.
Nigerians love talking about hypotheticals and conspiracy theories.
Yes, but tell me one area that Dangote is operating that others have been denied the right to operate in those areas. Okay. Look, everybody has his own areas.
Okay.
You know, where in the banking sector, for example, there are people whose expertise is the banking sector, and they're making a lot of money in the banking sector. Are you going to accuse them of being monopolist?
Okay. So the question of accusing someone of monopoly is unfair.
It's unfair because the system itself did not encourage the monopoly. It is more encouraged by people who have refused to go into the business venture because they prefer that their monies are hidden outside the shores of Nigeria.
Finally, before we go, one striking thing is that the federal government's silence in the whole of this. Beyond rhetorics, we haven't seen strong backing for Dangote Refinery in this crisis. Do you think the government is reluctant to be seen as pro-Dangote, or does this reflect that Dangote doesn't enjoy full government confidence?
No, I don't think so. I mean, what is apparent is that Dangote enjoys government confidence. Hence, the president also visited the refinery.
Okay.
And there was a ceremony at the refinery at which there was a joke when Dangote was to stand up and speak, and somebody said, the president of Aliko Dangote, and the man went to the microphone and said, never call me president while this man was sitting here, because there's only one president in the country and all that and all that. Yeah. No. They've done that.
Okay.
I agree with you Totally. And I pray that soon, we will get government voice in all of this, because this crisis it's getting out of hand. If we are beginning to have attack on national assets like electricity and other national assets, and probably maybe soon there will be blockage of roads and they'll be shutting down of filling stations, that would definitely affect the ordinary people.
But should the government step in?
At that point, yes. Because
at a point,
the primary purpose of government is to protect the welfare and safety of citizens. Every other thing is secondary.
Okay.
And if the welfare and probably the safety of the citizens will be affected by this proxy war, I think government should step in and save the interests of the people.
So finally, what are your final words as a solution and call to actions to Nigerians?
I think first and foremost, government should take a decisive action. So find a resolution, even if it means appointing an arbitrator and asking all of them to go back to status quo ante and allow the arbitrator to take a decision. That's one. Two, PENGASSAN should know that unions do not run business. Business provides an environment for people to get jobs and become union members. Because you cannot be a union member without a job. Once you lose your job, you lose your union membership. Because your union membership is hinged on the fact that you pay check-up dues to the union. If you don't have salaries, you don't pay check-up dues to the union. Because the check-up dues is from the salary. So unions should understand that private businesses must thrive in this country, because it's only the private businesses that can truly turn around our economy. Government has no business in business. And evidence of that is that government had run 4 refineries for the past 30 years. Those refineries are not producing even a cup of refined product. We now have a private sector coming, and now we are having refined product from Dangote and about 3 or 4 modular refineries. So that tells you that it's not a government of, it's a private sector. Dangote Refinery must listen, or Dangote himself must listen to some of the things that the unions are saying. If they are claiming that the trade union or labor practices in his companies do not meet standards, he should use the barometer of the standards to gauge what happens at his management level and correct. And then the ordinary Nigerians, we must wake up. We must wake up and be interested in the fight of the elite. Otherwise, the elite will continue to take us for granted. And in this case, the labor leadership and the private sector players are all part of the elites.
Well, Ahmed Sajoh, thank you so very much indeed for coming on the show and providing us with this incisive, wide-ranging analysis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Looking forward to hosting you.
Anytime.
Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the chat.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's lovely.
You piloted it very well.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
I wish we had more than one person here. I wish it was a debate between 2 contending positions. You would have made a very wonderful moderator.
Thank you so much indeed for the compliment. I feel honored and flattered.
No, not really. If you were wrong, I would tell you were wrong.
Oh, thank you very much indeed. Well, this refinery represents both hope and controversy. Hope that we finally refine our crude oil at home, and controversy over labor rights, monopoly fears, and government silence. For Nigerians watching, the question is simple. Do we protect this refinery as a national lifeline, or do we risk losing it to the same cycle of strikes, sabotage, and mismanagement that ruined our past refineries? This is the PAP Show. Don't just watch. Join the conversation. Subscribe on our YouTube channel, which is at PAP Show NG, and follow us across the socials. From me, Umar Isa Nandugo, and the team, good night.